Welcome back to another episode of MBAs Teach Econ. Today is our first lesson on producers and the decisions that they make, how they allocate their time, how they allocate their capital, and why. So the goal of any producer is to make money, of course. And specifically, we care about profit. Not just the money that comes in, but the money that's left over after we pay all of our expenses. So the profit, and we're going to use profit or pi in this case, is equal to total revenue minus total costs, where total revenue is just price times quantity sold, and our total costs are made up of fixed costs and variable costs, which we'll get into in a minute. So your producer is trying to make profit, and to do so, they execute a production function. So whatever this product or service is that they are producing, that's their end result. So this is the product or service. And in this production function, they have two main decisions. One is how they allocate their capital, and that's K. And the other is how they allocate their labor, and this is going to be abbreviated with a capital L. Now in the short run, we can only vary our labor, and in the long run, everything's variable. We can vary both capital and labor. So we're going to look at a simplified example of a producer and something we can all relate to. We're going to use the lawn mowing business. Many of us were young entrepreneurs once and know what it's like to run an industrious lawn mowing business. So for our lawn mowing business, our fixed costs, now these costs are things we cannot change with the amount of business that we take in the short run. So these fixed costs, we're going to start out with two lawn mowers, so two mowers. And we need to rake up the grass clippings when we're done. So we're going to start out with one rake. Now these fixed costs are things we have to pay whether we mow any lawns or not. So before we even execute any part of the business, these fixed costs need to be paid. So we bought our lawnmower, we bought our rake, and now we have some variable costs as well. Our variable costs would be labor, so the amount of people that we hire to work for us, and then these commodities or these expendables for the mowers of gas and oil. So a hypothetical example here, we have workers. We'll just put this out here in a table. Workers, lawns, and something else that's a little bit new called the marginal product of labor. Marginal product of labor, we'll abbreviate that MPL. And I'm also going to graph our results here. So I'm going to just have a Y and an X, and on our y-axis I'm going to put lawns, and our x-axis I'm going to have number of workers. And we'll say this is 5, 10, and 15, so 5, 10, 15, and we'll go number of workers from 1 to here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, so 1 to 6 workers. And I'll annotate that here in the column as well. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right. So with no workers, we can mow 0 lawns, and our marginal product of labor is 0. With just one worker, the founding father of this lawn mowing business, we can mow 3 lawns in a weekend. That's a difference of 3, 0 to 3. So our marginal product of labor is 3. So this marginal product of labor is just how many more lawns we can mow for each additional worker. So you'll see now when we add this second worker, we can mow 7 lawns instead of 3. And our difference between 3 and 7 is 4. So our marginal product of labor is 4. When we add the third worker, we can get up here to 10, and then 12, and then we kind of level off here at 14. Marginal product of labor is being 3, 2, and then 2 and 0. Now let's graph this out to take a better look at how this appears. So with one worker, we're up here at 3, 2, we're here at 7, 3 at 10, 12, 14, and 14. Total production is increasing. That's good. We like that. Now let's take a look at the marginal product of labor. We start out here at 0. 1, we're up here at 3. 2, we get to 4, and then we start back down. 3, 2, 2, and 0. We can have an upward trend and then back down. Now, this downslope is due to the diminishing returns to labor. So the law of diminishing returns says that if we continue to add labor to the same amount of capital, that over time we'll experience diminishing returns. So if we continue to add labor to the same number of mowers and rakes, we're going to have diminishing returns to labor. Now, this increase here is due to specialization. We have more people. When we get that second person, we can each use a mower, and now we're more productive than we were with just one of us on the job. Third person, we diminish a little bit here down to 3, but still fairly productive, but it's not the same as if we had the third mower. Now, I hope that's been an illuminating introduction to how producers make decisions. So thanks for listening, and see you again soon.